hello. JonnyPink, man, this sun is really, really bright. It's just starting to come up. It's relatively early on this Sunday morning. Yesterday I was shooting, I'm JonnyPink, by the way. John Michael Knowles for music, which is my real name, but JonnyPink is something I've gone by for years. So thanks for joining me out here. Thank you for letting me share with you guys. Yesterday I was shooting out near Hearst Castle, middle of California. Well, it's not really even the middle of California because I think closer to San Francisco is, but aside from all that, I was shooting elephant seals out there yesterday and it was absolutely stunning. It was so amazing. And I was going to spend the night there, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to drive home. I was tired as all could be because I wanted to come out here and shoot hummingbirds. I've been itching to come out and shoot hummingbirds for a while now. And here I am, and it is beautiful. I have the doves that I love here. I love their blue eyes and how it looks like they're wearing blue eyeshadow. I love that. And of course, hummingbirds. I am shooting the 600 f4 right now because the light is low and it's pushing the ISO higher on the R3. I want something that handles a higher ISO. What I've been shooting mostly is the R7 with the 100 to 500. I love, love, love that setup. But I know that it is going to push the ISO so high, I don't want to use those. I'm going to stop staring into the sun for a little bit because I'm being blinded and then I won't be able to see my wildlife. So I'm going to show you some photos. Check these out. I'm going to go back to shooting for a bit. Oh, and if in this tight spot, this lens, the minimum focus distance is too long. So I do have my extension tubes with me that I can put on there and shorten that minimum focus distance. I lose infinity. Focus is just a wee bit slower, but that's okay. It's kind of a compromise. Everything you shoot is a compromise. I know there are some people that don't like shooting their hummingbirds by feeders. It doesn't bother me. I like them. They're perched. They're nicely perched like this. They pose for you, and you get a great shot. I am shooting at f8. which is probably higher than I should be, but I want a lot more in focus. It's sometimes easier to focus at an f8 auto ISO, so what I'm watching is my shutter speed to keep it as high as possible and my ISO as low as possible. If it becomes a problem now that the sun is coming up and starting to hit everything, then I will drop it down to the 5.6 that I can get with the 1.4 extender on here. 840 millimeters right now at this. Even when I shoot zooms, I tend to shoot them at their longest focal length. It's what works for me. Pre-capture would be awesome. I wish I had it. That's the R1, and we'll see how I can. We'll see. Okay, now some of them in flight, or if you want to get in flight and it looks like they're elsewhere, you can doctor all that stuff in Photoshop. But what I'm doing is as the feeder is here and they are flying off to the side, I'm shooting continuously. I hold my eye autofocus. With Canon, it just locks right onto the bird. Even if it's just the whole subject, it'll lock onto it. I believe that Nikon and Sony will do the same things. When they're off to the side, that's when I've got them in flight. That's the way I shoot, and I get photos that look like this. If I really want to, yes, I can change all the background in Photoshop or even in Lightroom Classic, which is what I use. But that's the way I do it. Might be different for you, and that's okay, man. It's artwork. It's artwork. I'll come back to that thought in a minute. I'm in no rush, man. They will continue to come here. Right now, I have this place to myself, which is pretty cool. I don't normally like to come on a weekend. I do when I have time. I prefer weekdays because it's less crowded. Public place, and it is beautiful. All right, now these couple right through here, I absolutely love the light. These are some of my favorites. And the reason I zoom in like this is to show you how sharp these photos are. I love this setup. And of course, my favorites are always eyes closed. I was standing here a minute ago and everything flew away, which tends to mean that there's a large predator in the area. Okay, I'm going to interrupt this guy back here, and you might see, you may or may not, and I'm editing this, and I couldn't stand the buzz that's going on in there. There's equipment that is in the background, and sometimes it's on and I get interference, and sometimes I don't, and I forget that I should use a different setup when I'm there. And a lot of times I will use the one that I would use for a wedding or an event or something like that. This is Crouton. She is the most perfect little assistant in the whole wide world, and most of the time she'll sit on a pillow in my lap. But I wanted to come in because there was so much noise going on in there to say, listen, there is no setup that's perfect, because I get that question all the time. What's a good setup? Well, the best setup is one that's in your hand. For wildlife, of course, you want as much reach as you can possibly get, but you don't want too much reach, because then you start getting atmospheric interference like this that I was shooting with video. It's visible, and you get those in your photos, and whether you realize it or not, it does detract from the sharpness. If something's too far out, it doesn't matter how much reach you get, you're not going to get a clear, clean shot. So for me, and what I like is 800 millimeters. That seems to me, for me, to be the perfect focal length. Anyway, I just, again, want to say thank you. I don't have a Patreon, any of that stuff. I don't ask anything of anyone except that you give it a thumbs up. And if you made it this far, man, drop a heart down in the comments just so I know you saw it. I do appreciate it. My munchkin here appreciates it. She's deaf and she's blind, and she wears a diaper only because she doesn't always find the door, so we help her out with that. But she's amazing. I cannot tell you how special she is and how fortunate I feel for this too. Anyway, aside from all that, I've got rental links down below. I should have from Lens Rentals a Sony's 400-800 and an A9 III on the way. It just depends on if Lens Rentals gets that lens in time to ship it to me. If not, then it'll be delayed a little bit. I do have a link down below for Lens Rentals, and if you use my link, it gets you $25 off, and I get a couple of points for it that I can put towards another rental at some point. That's one thing I do ask, is that you use my rental links. That helps me out just a little bit, and it's not an affiliate link. I just think that they're an awesome company, and when I've asked for anything, they've always helped me out. The other thing I discovered is that my album is actually, the company that I use that puts it out through everybody has them on YouTube, so you can go check it out there if you don't have Spotify or anything like that. And it's absolutely free since you're already on YouTube. There's links down below for that as well. Listen to it. Leave me some comments on what you might think of that, even if it's, hey man, I hate this stuff. That's cool. I'm creating. That's all I want to do is create. She's so perfect. So I'm going to leave a link down there too. The latest one is called Rainbows in Time. It's about creation for me. It's just like taking photographs. For me, it is so, so exciting just to create. It's an outlet, and I appreciate everything you guys let me share with you. JonnyPink, thank you. Have a fantastic day, no matter what it is you're going to do out there. A smile doesn't cost anything, and it actually helps you have a better day if you smile. Look at this face. How perfect. Oh my God, she's beautiful. JonnyPink, I'll see you guys. She's my munchkin. And when I'm sitting here, she's here with me. We'll see you guys. We are going to go have pizza. One bit of advice I do have for you. If you go into the bathroom, blow your nose first, and then throw that tissue away. Otherwise, you'll wipe boogers on your butthole.